Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, heard Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on PSA.com and the PSA Facebook page. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by PSA and the National Sports Collectors Convention. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all of your hobby news, features, and more, visit sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now, your hosts, Tom Zappala and Rico Petrocelli.
Rico, how are you, Rick?
Hey, all right. Nice to see you. Hi, everyone watching and listening.
What's going on?
Nothing's going on.
You're working right now. You're getting paid.
Well, yeah, if you want to call it that. But listen, no, it's been a couple of weeks. I know John was on for a couple of weeks, and we had an unfortunate thing. Our dog passed away after 17 years.
Louis.
Yeah, Louis. And so it was kind of rough week.
I can see that. You know, I had goldfish that died once, and I was upset.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappala with Mike, compadre, Paisan, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli. We have a really good show today. Before we, I'm going to tell you who we have. We have John Velgos is coming in from Cabrella Shipping Insurance Company. Whole new concept, which I think everybody here is going to find very interesting. And then we have our dear friend who just recently returned from a sabbatical in Vietnam, Derek Grady. Derek's going to be joining us. And then followed by our other good friend, Leighton Sheldon, the last couple of minutes from Vintage Breaks. But first, Rico,
yes,
our headlines.
First.
Heritage Auctions will launch its spring catalog in a few weeks, but work is already underway on events scheduled for the rest of the year. One thing the big sale always reveals is that there are plenty of raw collections out there that wind up being consigned. Heritage recently took in a group of higher grade 1950s baseball card sets, including, Rick, a 1952 top-notch 1952 set. Also scheduled for the next catalog is a true hobby rarity, a box of 24 unopened, Rico, 1962 Topps baseball packs that had been with the original owner since it was purchased 61 seasons ago. It, too, is heading for the May sale. And then there was some 5-pack cards along with some Topps stamps, insert sheets. There was no immediate word on which series might be represented by the packs inside, but we may get that from Derek once he comes on. Another rarity, a 5th series box, 1972 Topps baseball was consigned this week and will head to the auction. Also, along with, ready for this, Rick? A 1975 Topps box, and one Rico Petrocelli is in that box. Possibly.
I wouldn't take it. Anyway,
For more information, you can go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. Our good friend Rich Miller and the gang there, they do a great job. All right, let's bring in our first guest, John Velgos from John. I want you to just tell us the whole concept of how Cabrella works and what it's all about.
Yeah, so thanks. So Cabrella is a third-party shipping platform. And so what we do is we allow customers to ship their packages with us, insure their packages, or ship and insure. And what we do is we leverage our buying power from across our thousands of customers to get a lower shipping rate than they can get by themselves. So if you're shipping a couple packages a week, or really technically less than about 200 packages a week, we can get cheaper discounts on shipping costs than you can generally get by yourself. We can do different things like integrating with different softwares and different carriers to make it incredibly easy to use. But our main product is insurance. We insure literally everything underneath the sun. So, for example, we insure perishables. I've got one customer right now who's up in the Northeast, and he does crabs. And he ships crab cakes around the United States, and that's perishable. So we'll cover things that need to get there by a certain delivery time. We insure high values, watches, luxury goods, clothing. So really anything, if it's important and you don't want to lose it, you can insure it, and we'll help you do that.
That's like, well, up in Maine, there's a lot of restaurants ship the lobsters, even actually not to Europe also. So, yeah, but I wanted to ask you, is your business more for the individual, or in the collectible business, is it more for the collectors, or maybe the auction owners of the auction, like auction houses, like Heritage? Which
so we mainly insure businesses, but with most people today, especially if they're just regular day people and they're selling through eBay, which most people will do, because of eBay's rules, I think that changed last year. Everyone has to either create an LLC or do a sole proprietorship, and they have to do their taxes on their eBay store. So they would qualify. If you're a business, even though you may only ship a couple a week, we can do it with you. Or for example, we have a couple of grading card companies who we insure their packages, and that's where this is specifically right toward them, or even the auction houses, because we don't look at the stringent requirements that what carrier liability may have. If you want to insure it through a UPS or a FedEx or any carrier, you have to have 2 to 4 inches on all 4 sides. Your crush edge burst strength has to be 240. You have to use a certain kind of tape, and you have to use the tape in a certain type of way. And so they do this to really restrict customers' claims in order to do that. So we allow customers to insure it and get their claims paid.
Yeah.
So John, I mean, should I use Cabrella to ship my 1953 Topps signed Mickey Mantle card to Heritage Auctions?
Yes, absolutely. And here's the reason why. So I've been a collector my whole life. I started at, I think my first set running into it was 1986 Topps. So unfortunately, I was in the junk wax era, but luckily I had a mom who also collected, and she got me into vintage early, so I got lucky because of that. And so with that, when you don't have a value on a card, right? Whether it's you're sending it to an auction house, or you're sending it to a grading card company, or if you've just got a big card in a break, you don't have a value associated with that card, especially for auction houses. When they're sending it there, they have no idea what it's going to sell for. So how I created this product is we have 3 different ways that we value a product. We look at past auctions. So it's an easy way for us to say, okay, well, this is an easy card. We can see the auction prices. And then we have a variance in there as well. So we actually try to make it where if a customer insures something for $135, but the let's say the auction results only show a 120, we give a variance so that they can get that 135. So we do everything we can to be able to give a customer a claim on something that's not sold. So if you were to do this with any other company, you're not going to get your claim paid because they won't accept auction prices. They won't accept eBay snapshots of the last item sold. That's where I created this kind of 3-step process. So whereas we're going to take all the auctions and come up with an average. But sometimes, let's say with a Trevor Lawrence 1-of-1 National Treasure, right? It's not going to be up on an auction. So then we go to another part where we have a price guide. We're going to check that. More than likely, it's not going to be on that price guide. The final step is we get an actual appraisal from one of the most reputable companies in this, in our field or in this marketplace to give us an appraisal. The main point of all this, we're not the ones that are coming up with the value. We're using all reputable companies to do that for us.
Geez,
sounds like a great concept.
I got my golf clubs I sent from New Hampshire to Florida, and it was not UPS or FedEx, but it was another company. Ships. Could I say it, Tom?
So what happened? Did they come broken?
Wait a minute, ship sticks. No, ships. No, they didn't know. They were good, but I insured it for $1,000. and I'm praying somebody would steal them because they're worth about like $100.
Funny.
So no, but
No, I
golf
think
clubs, I would say golf things like that,
Absolutely.
right? Golf clubs
Absolutely.
and other things. Yeah.
John,
And so
go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry.
to answer your question, Tom, on the 1952 mantle or the 1956
53.
or
I wish it was a 52 sign.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
When
does
there's
Derek.
when there's no sale, we're going to use a variety of different ways to value that card to the closest way possible. So you want to insure it with us because even, there are other third-party platforms out there that work on insurance. There's no product like this in the marketplace. And you and I kind of talked, but that's the only thing we do. We only insure collectibles while in transit. If they're in your house, they're in your storage unit, there's other companies that do that. That's
Right.
not us. We only insure your products while in transit.
Awesome. What is your website address?
It's Cabrella.com. Super easy. www.cabrella.com.
Are you going to be at the National?
Yes. I already got my tickets early on.
That's
As
good.
soon as they
That's what I
opened up,
thought.
I got my alert. And and so I'll be talking to
He's killing
all
me.
the vendors.
Well, Tom will meet you there. He's
That's right, Vic, you're out.
no.
Actually, you
that's
may
great.
be there. All right, John, we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Yeah, John, thanks a lot. Jeez.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Have a great
I'm
day.
Take care.
Do
John
my golf
Velgos.
clubs through
I
John.
From Cabrella Insurance. All right. You know something? Grady kills me. He absolutely kills me. Let's bring in Mr. Personality from Heritage Auctions, our good friend, Derek Grady. How are you, Derek?
Hey, I'm here.
What's going on?
Gee, I
Was I,
wonder
in
if
the,
we.
was I in the waiting room before?
You were. You were. We call it
The
the
green
green
room.
room. The
The
green
green
room.
room. Okay.
Yes, you were in the green room. You know something, Derek? While
What?
stuff like this goes on, Derek sends me these little texts
Bits.
that I just laugh my buns off. I really do. They're pretty.
Oh,
funny.
tell us about it. What did he
No,
say?
no. They're
See?
private. They're private. They're
Yeah,
private.
okay. That's
All right,
a heck of
Derek. I noticed there was an article in Heritage Newsletter about Thurman Munson, and let's talk about Thurman Munson because I have my feelings about Thurman Munson.
Yeah, but you're biased.
I'm biased.
You're
Yes,
a Red Sox
Well,
fan.
what is it? What's your opinion about him, Tom?
Well, let's hear what Derek has to say
okay.
first.
The guy had a fairly dominant career for like 11 years and was captain of the Yankees first in Scarrig, right?
Yeah.
Won some gold gloves, won 2 championships, was MVP, was rookie of the year. Was a hell of a catcher, a hell of a player, dies in a plane crash. Okay. I cited a couple other guys that had shortened careers. And again, don't mistake me for a Yankee fan. I grew up in the Pittsburgh area, so I'm a Pirate fan. I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm a Pirate fan, believe it or not, and the Penguins too. But so, and this guy is sitting on the outside of Cooperstown for absolutely no reason. He should 100%. This shouldn't even be a talked about issue when you have these other players. I'm not going to disrespect players that got into the Hall of Fame, but there's definitely some sliders that got in that were not dominant. And
Well, that
think
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
I
So
totally
Rico,
agree
did
with
you look at when you played against Thurman Munson? Did you look at him as an all-star player? Did you look at him as a dominant player? Did you look at him as a future Hall of Famer?
He was the what's the word? The heart of the Yankees. I mean, he was the guy they all really respected. He was the leader.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I do believe he should be in Cooperstown for his ability. And it just happened that of course, he died in that plane crash. Maybe if he was on another team, say the Minnesota Twins, and that happened, maybe they wouldn't consider it, but they absolutely should consider it. And I think he'll get in eventually through one of the
I
groups.
do too.
Yeah, but he was
there's
a hell of
other-
a player. He was
there's other
dominant. He
players-
was dominant.
Rico,
Yeah,
where do you
and it's-
rate him? Where do you rate him? I know Pudge. Obviously, you and Pudge were very close.
Yeah.
But where do you rate in your playing career? Not forget the National League guys you played against. in the World Series.
Bench.
Yeah, so forget those guys in the World Series. I'm talking strictly American League catchers. I know you've always said that you rated Pudge at the top. Do you rate him second behind Pudge in the American League?
Yeah, both offensively and defensively. Yes, there were other catchers who were outstanding defensively and better, probably maybe both of them. But overall, they weren't, and their teams didn't do that well. But yeah, I would say, in my opinion, not because Fisk was a Red Sox, but of course, he played longer and he's got his stats are a little more. But Munson, absolutely, 10 years. Hey, Koufax is in there. How many years did he pitch?
Well, that's a good point.
So yeah, I hope and think he will eventually get in. Now, his wife, they have a big dinner, every year in New York, and his wife is, of course, involved in it, and they raise money for some charity, and so his name is still out there, in New York, especially because you got to get the New York writers to push it.
Oh, let's see what happens. Hey, Derek, I want to talk about what's going on with the overall market now that the modern market has somewhat taken a step back. I won't say the word collapse, but it's taken a step back. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a healthy correction. I think it went up too fast, too quick. And just like any market, it adjusts. And the good news is I feel like the collectors are adjusting too. They may have look, everybody's a genius whenever it's a bull market, right? Everybody's making money hand over fist. Everybody's the smartest one in the room when everybody's making money. And I think there's people that have taken some losses and they're, and they realize what their mistakes were. Cards that were $500 prior to the pandemic that shoot up to 4,000. If you're buying them at 4,000, it's not likely they're going to go up to 5,000. It's more likely they're going to come back down. But people were still investing in players. They're just adjusting to the pricing. But I think they're also, like I've always mentioned on the show, was diversifying, buying some vintage, buying some blue chip stuff. Modern is always risky. It was risky when I was doing it in the 80s. Buying up Kevin Moss rookies or, oh my God, Mike Greenwell rookies.
Greg Jeffries,
all that stuff. I have them in my basement still. I have all those guys probably in top loaders, in plastic cases, all these rookies. Ben McDonald, I think I have 200 upper deck Ben McDonald rookies. I don't even know what he's doing right now, but I guess if I had him sign them, they'd be worth more. Who knows? But, I think, so the one barometer I use is trade shows. And that's from a national level to a local level. And I am only getting feedback. I mean, the Philly show is outstanding. It's promoted by our friend Joe Drellick. It was an outstanding show. It was actually, the room was too small. I mean,
really?
But he had, I mean, it was,
wow, that's great.
It was amazing how many people were in that door. I mean, so that's one thing, the deal. I mean, there were always people at tables, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was busy. I think he said it was his second best Philly show ever. So there are people going to shows. And then I know some local show promoters that said the mall shows and the local shows are busier than ever too. So that means the hobby's strong. There's a lot of new faces, a lot of new people collecting. So that's good for the overall market.
I was at a card show this past Sunday, small card show in West Palm Beach. And thing I did notice, there were a lot of young kids there, and there was a lot of modern there, but there was a lot of vintage, and a lot of the younger kids were buying vintage. And I really paid attention to that, which was a good sign.
It's good.
A good sign.
Absolutely. Of course.
Yeah, you would think organically people would, when they're paying this kind of money for a John Morant or a LeBron or a Kobe, they go back and they look at Magic and Bird, Chamberlain and Russell, and you can buy, you can't get 8s or 9s of those guys in that kind of price range.
That's not happening yet, though, Derek. Why?
Wait, what do you mean? No, it's not. Yes, it is. Ding dong.
Hold on a second, though. But I mean,
let him have it. Let him have it.
I forget about the Magics and the Birds, but what about the guys like, I don't know,
Russell and Chamberlain?
Cassie Russell?
The guys like Walt Frazier. The guys from that 70s and 80s, nothing's going on there.
Maravich is a key rookie. No, he's a key rookie. He does very well. Walt Frazier probably doesn't get the respect he deserves. There's a lot of those. The Basketball Hall of Fame's odd. If you look and see, it's the International Basketball Hall of Fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the NBA Hall of Fame.
Correct.
Okay. And you see players that I could tell you somebody's in and you wouldn't believe they're in, because they're even looser than, Major League Baseball lets people out that should be in. NBA really puts you in if you were anything. So there's a lot
football?
of
Football's got they put in a lot of guys.
Yeah, football puts in a lot of guys too, but I can make an argument that it's there's still a lot that should get in. Not like baseball. Baseball has more sitting on the outside that should get in.
I agree with that.
But basketball, other than once you get in the 70s, the Moses Malone rookie's probably still undervalued.
Hakeem, Olajuwon, all those guys.
He's in the 80s. Hakeem, look, those
are like top 50 players of all time.
Yeah, there's some.
Listen, we got to take a quick break.
Something.
Derek is in the house. Mr. Grady's been with us for. You're going to be with us the whole time. Even
yay!
All right, hang in there. We'll be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
He answered the tough questions. On Deck with Richard Petrocelli.
Okay, it's time for On Deck with Richard.
She's so cute.
That is funny. All right, it's time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. We love, you know something, Brian's one of the really nice guys in this hobby, huh, Derek?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Great guy.
I actually worked with him for, a few years at a grading service.
Yeah,
I had a great time working for him.
Good man.
Yeah, good guy.
Right.
He's turned out, he owns the business.
He's done real well.
I'm an employee. Brian Dwyer made it as an owner. So
that's right. Good point.
Yeah.
All right, Rico, this week's question was sent to us by a gentleman whose name is Jerry Sexton. And this is a kind of an interesting question, Rico, since we just lost him. What are your fondest memories of Joe Pepitone? Now, I know you had some history with Joe. Did you grow up in the same neighborhood or something?
No, in Brooklyn, a little different area, but and I didn't know him then. But one of the memories I had of him is he was 16 years old and he used to play in the league for Nathan's. You know the Nathan's hot dogs. They sponsored a team, and it was a great league. But he played in it. There were former players that came back and played in this league. And they were very good. So Joe Pepitone, we were on the field, and he was on the field at straightaway center, way back.
Yeah.
So we knew of him. So he was, he hit a home run, 16 years old, had to go close to 450 feet into the water. There was an inlet there in New York, in Brooklyn, and he hit one in. It was like we were watching him. Everybody stopped and watched him at bat, and pow, holy mackerel. It was incredible. But Joe got in, kind of got in with the wrong people there,
Yeah, for a while.
And they got in some trouble, but he was a talent. If he was, behaved himself, he could have been one of the all-time Yankees.
Didn't you get into a little scrum with him?
No, not really with him, but it was the Yankees, a beanballing incident in 67. And we were all around first base, that area, both teams and dugouts. And somebody said something, and Joe was closer to me, but somebody beyond him said something to Lonborg, screaming at Lonborg, because Lonborg hit their pitcher when he got up in the back.
Oh,
and their pitcher hit Joe Foy in the head, in the helmet. And he says, Lonborg, you could have ruined his career. I went, why? I said, what about Foy? Yeah. And then we charged, and everybody went at it. So, yeah, we've had some, but he was competitive. He was a talented guy, but he's just got into some trouble. So, but I still, I have a lot of fond memories of him.
Good.
By the way, he hit a 3-run home run in Fenway Park in the third inning, and in the top of the third and bottom of the third. It rained so hard they called the game off.
Oh,
he was
He must not been.
Oh, he went nuts. He was out there as the rain's coming in, and he's doing like a dance, an Indian dance, one of those. Hit it, stop.
That's
but it was a good guy. I mean,
wasn't he the first guy to use a hairdryer?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, that's another thing. Hairdryer, and he had a toupee.
That's great.
Yeah, we heard from the Yankee guys that he would wash his toupee and then dry it off with the dryer. It was a riot.
All right, let's get back to our friend Derek, Mr. Grady. You have a kind of a really cool auction coming up in May. When does it open up? In April? It's your May auction, but it opens up at the end of April?
It opens up, yes, at the end of April, ends mid-May. It's the card memorabilia, so it will be 3 sessions. Thursday will be cards, Friday will be memorabilia, Saturday will be a mix of both, called Final Session. So that's our next big catalog auction. We currently have our showcase auction going on that you can check out. I mean, those have billed over, they're over $1 million. They end on a Saturday. It ends, I believe it's next Saturday. But it's there's $1.5 million in there to $2 million. We added that to the overflow.
Derek, how do you prepare? How do you prepare for those?
It's a good question.
Oh,
You know,
just
your
work all the
company.
time. Just how do you prepare? You just
Well, you know what I mean. When you got to put things together, the catalog and all that stuff, right?
It's well, the showcase auctions, thank God, we do a mailer for them, and we do a lot of emails to promote it. We do not do a catalog, but we do the catalog. We have 2 platinum nights, a couple solo card auctions, and 3 other regular catalogs. So it adds up. And these showcase auctions, the lots still need photoed and written and shipped.
Well, that was Rico's asking a good question, Derek, because what is the time frame between some of your auction catalogs like massive.
Yeah.
So what's the time frame between when you get the catalog back and the deadlines? I mean, it's all really timing, isn't it?
You know who's the best at this to answer all this would be Mike Provenzale.
Really?
Now he would say that the show, demonstrably gets better ratings when I'm on. Provenzale is just dry. So, it's people are falling asleep or killing themselves when Pro's on, but he used to run this part of the, of the operation.
Yeah.
But, when we get a consignment in, it takes time. It gets entered, it gets inventoried, it gets photoed, it gets written, the images and the write-ups get proved, it gets laid out in the catalog. It's a big to do. This is not.
Yeah.
So, you have to have a lot of people, and we do have a lot of people. And you got to have
who does the writing? Do you have a group of writers?
We have maybe there's 7 different writers, 4, no, more than that, probably about 10 writers. Some do, Lee and I do the grading. We do the sets where we do the grading composite. Okay. So I go through the sets and we grade the cards. So we do the write-ups on the sets, single cards. We have people down there that do the single cards. The memorabilia, there's 4 different writers for the memorabilia. Yeah, it's a big to do. This is not super, the only thing that, and the online auctions that do a couple $1 million, and we have Sunday night auctions every Sunday that do, 150 to 200 grand. Those all need write-ups. They all need photo. They all need shipped. They all need, it's a big to do. There's,
Are there any highlights for your May auction that you can off the top of your head?
Yeah, I mean, stuff's still coming in for that. We're down to the last week. There's registry sets. There's a killer Ted Williams bat rated a 9.5 from 1946.
Wow.
That's I think that's an MVP year. It's a great bat. So there's unopened wax boxes. There'll be tickets. There'll be jerseys. It's cards and memorabilia. So it's gonna be loaded.
Very good. Rick?
You guys ever think of going marketing on TV or cable? People in the market, you never see anything. You know what? No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
But hold on, because I go online, Derek. I was going to ask you about this. I go online, and I'll go onto one of the news outlets, whether it be CNN or Fox or Newsmax. And a heritage banner comes up all the time. Do you know anything about that? Yeah.
Or I mean, I do the same thing. I could be paying my car insurance.
Yeah.
And I could see a heritage banner.
It's crazy.
Our IT department is brilliant. I mean, our e-commerce department. I mean, they know. I mean, I am, believe it or not, I still, because I'm a client of Heritage as well. There's still stuff I buy in their auctions or our auctions. And so every time I'm on my phone, I could be doing anything. And there's the Heritage, something comes up. So they've done a great job at marketing. I think, Reek, as far as you don't see, I mean, there used to be Shop at Home and there used to be some of those channels hawking crap.
Yeah.
Nothing good. It's all overpriced. It wasn't good stuff. But it's I think it's very cost prohibitive. I mean, we work on small margins. We have to do a lot of sales.
Expensive.
It's very expensive to advertise on TV. And
well, the
so
reason go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think that's why, there's some dealers, I think, that take a little spot. Maybe there's some, do coins and cards and comics, like a Shop at Home type thing. late night TV when it's cheaper,
Yeah.
but I don't know of anybody that's doing it legitimately, right?
Well, the reason I asked that, I maybe should have asked this question first, but no. What do we have to do to get more people in the hobby?
Sure.
So that came to mind,
Well, I think that's an overall great question, because this is why Fanatics and Rubin, Michael Rubin bought in. He was at the card show I was at, and he asked me how many Mickey Mantles he came to the table, came to the Heritage booth at the Philly show, and caught me off guard because he said, how many Mickey Mantles are there? And I said, graded? And he said, no. How many Mickey Mantles are out there total? And I don't know the answer to that, but because I've been a professional grader, and you grade a lot of 52 Mantles. But my New York guy said to me, Derek, we get more raw Mantles still. There are still more raw 52 Mantles.
That's unbelievable.
That come in. I have one right here on my desk that I have to send out for grading soon.
Send it to me. I'll take care of it.
Just came in.
Look at the Mick, huh?
Let me look at it real quick here.
What's that going to grade out at? Hold it up. First,
it's in the 5 range. I don't know how it's going to look on camera right now, but it's in the 5 range.
Right there, Rick.
This just came in. So there's still people that did not grade there. I mean, we're still getting Gaudies. We're still getting 51. There's a 51 Bowman Mantle in this invoice too. And that will go out for grading, and this consignment. So we're still getting raw ones. I don't, is there 50,000 Mantles? Is there 20,000 Mantles? It's hard to say how many 52 Mantles are there. But my point is, Fanatics is going to make it an experience. If they get cards in the ballpark, so they have the Topps license, right? They bought Topps, so they got the baseball license. They've got football and basketball. They're going to put packs everywhere. They're going to do interactive stuff. They're going to get really involved in this. And, it's the more people we have in, the more us collectors that have been in it since the beginning, or since we started. I got in the 80s. People older than me were in it in the 70s, the 60s. And if they build a collection, their collection just keeps going up. The more people we get in, the better it is for memorabilia and cards. And I think it's an enjoyable hobby. And I can tell you that show was packed in Philadelphia.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Hey, Derek, I know that you are a big James Fiorentino fan, and you have quite a bit of his artwork. I mean, tell us about it, because I know I was talking to James, and I mean, he just does amazing work. What are your thoughts on him as an artist? And tell us about your collection.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing stuff since he was, 15, 16 years old on a national level. He did stuff for the Ted Williams Museum. He does stuff for Saratoga. He does stuff for, and I'm not going to give him all the credit he deserves because I don't have his resume in front of me, but it's insane what he's done on a national level since he was 16. So he's no secret. He does a lot with wildlife paintings, and they're through, traveling museums and stuff. He's had stuff in all these museums, and I just saw him the other day. So he started some sports projects. There's only one is the name of the one project where he does, there's 152 Mantle he paints, one Hannes Wagner, one. So I bought a bunch of those where I
Did you really?
I got, Cobbs, Ruth, Clemente rookie, Aaron rookie.
We had him on, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago talking about it. And I tell you, man, that is a really, really good.
Well, they're stunning, and he does it in watercolor, which is almost impossible to believe he can do it this well with watercolor. It's so much harder. And I don't know the first thing about painting. I couldn't do anything with painting. I'd be lucky to paint a snowman, but he's unbelievable at it. And so he displayed at the Philly show, and I took some people over there that were blown away. Unfortunately, he's so far backed up with how many people are commissioning him to do paintings. But he's really good. And he has another series called the Elite Series where he does the athlete that's still living, and he gets them signed, and they're really, they're really good too. So, but at the end of the day, he's a really good guy. Really guy. Nice, great guy. Not arrogant whatsoever. Very friendly. He is. Talk to you forever.
Yeah. Yes, well, wait till he does the Zappala.
Okay.
Boy,
hey, listen, we are chatting with Derek Grady. Rico, why don't you tell us about Joe Drellick and our friends at the CSA show?
Well, why don't I put my glasses on and find the copy, since you what he called me.
Since I threw you a curveball.
Yeah. Oh, I could hit curveballs. Oh, I got it. Ready?
Go.
All right. CSA Shows is proud to present the Chantilly Show being held on March 31st through April 2nd. It's held at the Dulles Expo Center in Chantilly, Virginia, just minutes from the Dulles International Airport. So if you fly there, you can just very close. So they're celebrating over 27 years at the same location. There'll be over 300 dealers' tables exhibiting on over 100,000 square feet of space with both vintage sports cards and memorabilia, as well as modern-day sports treasures. You won't have to look very far for that special card, bat, ball, or autograph. Major auction houses and third-party grading companies will be on site to assist you with your collecting and authentication needs. Some of your favorite superstars will be on hand, including football greats Trevor Lawrence, Jamar Chase, C.D. Lamb, Micah Parsons, Randy Moss,
Cowboys.
Emmett Smith, and many more. Emmett Smith. For more information, go to www.csashows.com. That's a Chantilly Show, where you can find all of your sports collectible treasures.
Yeah, Joe does a great job.
He
really does.
You guys are professional. I mean,
except for Derek.
No, I'm very professional. Tom, talk about the ratings. Tell me the time you called me and you told me, I can't believe I'm admitting this.
Oh my God. That was an aberration. So
who's your highest rated guest?
You are. I have to admit.
All right.
I have to.
Numbers don't lie.
You know who's a close second to you?
Oh boy, Thomas Sulo. Because he gets on there and
he doesn't shut up.
Tom, you're not going to believe this. I picked up something for 142,000, and now I'm asking 600,000 for the item. I mean, he is so passionate.
Joe is
so good for the hobby.
He calls me up. Derek, he'll call me up at 10 o'clock at night, and he'll say, "Tom, I got a card for you."
Yep.
Joe,
everything's an emergency.
I know.
Everything's 911.
He's really, really funny.
Derek,
really
you're not going to believe this.
Hey, listen, before we take a break, we've got about a minute. And then we're going to take a break, and you're going to stay with us, and then we're going to bring.
I've got nothing better to do.
But listen, this rash of break-ins and burglaries, man.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned about that?
I have nothing to do with them. It's
does that mean that must mean concerned? Well, the burglars want to get the cards. Must be they're valuable.
Yeah. What do you think's going to happen? This stuff's valuable. They know it's valuable. You see it now more in the media. Listen, there's always been coin issues because of gold and silver. There's always been diamond issues. Well, now baseball cards and graded cards are, I guess they're, people, I don't know. Would you have to, are they cracking out? If you take a 52 mantle, there's a serial number on it. I guess they're cracking it out if they're stealing a 52 mantle. But I mean,
this 82-year-old guy, I don't know if you read about him, 82-year-old guy, he conned.
I did read that. Now
$300,000.
Yeah, but that wasn't okay. But he didn't break in anything.
No, that was fraud.
He was just selling. So the one thing, it's true. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. If somebody's offering you cards that are 50 cents on the dollar for blue chip cards, come on, you got to wake up. They would go to an auction house. They would put it online. They're not selling it to you for cash because they need the money because they're getting divorced, or they need the money because their kid's in a rehab center. Knock it off. But an 82-year-old, that shocked me. 82 selling this guy fake cards.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. I think Leighton Sheldon from Vintage Breaks is going to join Derek, myself, and Rico. Hang in there. We will be right back.
eBay. Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
They are prized possessions, and you need a place to store them that is safe and secure. The eBay Vault is exactly that. An insured, climate-controlled facility with state-of-the-art security that guards your valuable collection around the clock. Your Vault account is protected by two-step verification and easily accessible through eBay Collection. And everything stored in the eBay Vault is backed by Authenticity Guarantee. Buying and selling is a seamless experience. When you buy an eligible card on eBay, it can be sent directly to the eBay Vault at checkout. Or, if it's already in the eBay Vault, you can just keep it there. And selling from the eBay Vault is just as easy. Every card in the vault has been expertly inspected, detailed, and photographed, so you can quickly sell it with a pre-populated listing. And if your buyer chooses to withdraw their card from the eBay Vault, we handle packing, shipping, and insurance. And same goes for you. If you want that rare rookie card in your hands, you can have it shipped to you at any time. Collect like a pro with the eBay Vault.
Well, the eBay vault is climate controlled, insured, and protected with 24-hour security. They got a guard. They got 2 guards there, checking it out, with guns. No, I'm just kidding. Soon, you'll be able to send cards already in your collection directly to the eBay vault. They will take high-quality photos of the front and back of the card and document all the details for your viewing pleasure and to make the listing to sell process seamless. For more info, it says no. For more info, go to eBay, connecting buyers and sellers globally. Aha!
Do you realize they pay for that?
I was smooth like glass.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh. He makes me laugh all the time.
Hold on. Not you. Hold on. Did you hear the coming out music? No, I didn't either. See, Chrissy?
I didn't hear Chrissy.
Is she even here?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, she's not speaking though.
She's having lunch. All right, let's bring in Leighton. Leighton, how are you, my man? Leighton Sheldon from Vintage Breaks, Just Collect, store owner. What else, man?
Renaissance man.
Owns a Jewish deli on Arthur Avenue. Jewish deli on Arthur Ave, right?
Really? Nice.
No, he doesn't. All right, Leighton.
I like a good Knish, though.
Talk to us about your mint. What was it? What's it called? The mint collection. What the hell were you at?
It's actually upcoming. It's called the Mint Collective. But
and you're going to be there.
I am. But before we get into that, really appreciate you gentlemen having me on today and to be with the great Derek Grady.
Oh,
I mean, my day has been made. But the joking aside, it was really nice to see Derek and others at the Philly show. Everyone is so welcoming. My son Crosby just turned 8. And I'll tell you,
nice.
The kid doesn't care about cards yet, which I don't love. But he's got like all these little things he remembers, like Kurt from Kurt's Cards, beginning of the show with Brian Deck. Like they say hi to him and they make jokes. So like this time he wanted to go say hi to them because he remembered last time.
Nice.
Rico, he's been looking for you. He wants to learn how to read ads. He listens to the show. He's a big fan.
Leighton, how old is he?
Poor kid. 8.
He just turned 8 the day after Christmas.
I love his name. Yeah, as soon as he came up to our booth, I don't think he remembers me. I was like, Crosby. I went right to him as opposed to Leighton.
Yeah,
where does the name? Did you name him after David Crosby, Bing Crosby, or
Sidney Crosby?
Sidney Crosby.
I'd like to tell you all of those wonderful things are true, but the reality of it is that when it was time to kind of come up with a name, ultimately it was just a list of names, and that one kind of stuck out as the one to go with, and that's what we did.
Nice, yeah, that's awesome. A nice name.
All right, so what's going on in Vintage Breaks, my friend?
So Vintage Breaks and Just Collect, we, as you just mentioned a few minutes ago, we just opened a new store in Millburn, New Jersey. Check it out at 296 Millburn Ave. And we do a lot of cool things in the shop. So we've had pop-ups, for example, with Andy Friedman. So for some of your audience who may be watching and not know what a pop-up store is, and candidly, I'm not so hip, so I had to kind of figure it out on the fly. So it's something that happens, a lot of times in, let's say, New York cities or other big cities across the country, or for that matter, the world. So let's say one brand has a store, and then there's another brand that maybe sets up shop for a day, for a week, for a couple days. And so what was really cool is that Andy Friedman kind of came out. He hopped on our Vintage Break stream. So we chatted a little bit about his art, about where he gets some of the inspiration for the cards that he's drawing. We opened up some stuff on camera together, and he actually left his, like a setup, if you will, of one glass display case of some really cool stuff. He left it there for about 30 days. So, he didn't sell enough to move the Bel Air out in LA, but he did sell some to our community. And what was really cool is that our community didn't necessarily know who he was before his stuff was put out for sale in our shop. So it was kind of a win-win, meaning Just Collect and Vintage Breaks had some really cool content in our store, right? And then Andy was able to put out some stuff. He doesn't own a store. So if you wanted to, have a store for a year, it'd be very expensive. So he got the exposure to our community through our store for about a month, and he sold a bunch of stuff. And it was kind of a win-win situation. So we're really excited about that. We're hoping today that we're going to convince Derek and Heritage to do a pop-up at the Just Collect store in the future for an auction preview. The reason being is because our friends from REA, we actually just signed on. REA is doing an auction pop-up preview at our store in April, so just a few weeks' time. And for some of you watching, you might want to ask, what does that mean? So for those that can't make it out to REA's store, right, or aren't going to spend, let's say, an afternoon at RA to go preview, and you want to go look at the Nolan Ryan rookie that I have an 8.5, or they have a T3 Cobb that you wanted to see in person forever. And even though you're not going to bid and you don't really want to buy or bother Brian and the team there, you kind of want to see it. So we've collaborated with REA for a pop-up. This will be the third time we've done something like this, our first time with an auction house. And so you're going to be able to come down to our offices and our store and see several $1 million of some great material over the course of a day or two. Like, I previewed at Heritage before, and I love it. I love hanging out with Stevie. I love hanging out with the rest of the guys. However, not everyone is able to go down to Heritage in New York City. So something to Heritage to consider in the future. Hey, we're 5 minutes from Short Hills Mall, which is a great mall, a very affluent community. And at the very least, it's going to be a fun hobby event. We'll see if, what kind of folks come out there, to the store for the pop-up. But I think it's a really cool way to bring some, great cards, historical artifacts to maybe the mainstream, if you will, collecting public versus like the people who already know about the auction.
Yeah,
they know to go there and preview.
Derek, you got to do that, man.
It sounds like a good idea. I mean, you keep forgetting I'm just executive vice president. I'm not the owner.
No, but you know something, Derek, I think it would be nice for you to go down in May and, while you're at it, just.
Well, I'm going to see Leighton at the Mint Collective. I decided I'm going to.
Yes. All right. We got Derek to come out there. Great.
Yeah, so
good for you. Good for you.
Out there. I don't know that what kind of shape I'll be in out there, but it's Vegas.
I'll get to you early, Derek, and then late so that we get to go out.
Oh, that's horrible. All right, listen, we got about 5 minutes. All right, we're going to go right around the corner. Leighton, you're first. Top 3 first basemen of all time.
All right. So, and I had no preparation. Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, and I'm just going to say Albert Pujols because I know he's amazing. That's just what comes to mind real quick.
Rico.
That's pretty good, Leighton.
Me? Yeah, I'll take Pujols, Gehrig, and who else is there? Who was that first I was thinking of?
Rudy York.
Yeah, Rudy York. He was up there. No,
Tom prepared this because he asked the question.
I swear I did.
Yeah,
not.
No, he killed. That's what he does.
I did not.
When he took his morning dump, he thought of this
What about
question.
Jimmy? What about Jimmy Fox?
Jimmy Fox.
Said Jimmy Fox.
No,
Jimmy Fox.
Leighton did.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take Fox too. I'll take two.
All right. What about you?
He forgets. Go ahead.
I know. Me?
Derek. Yeah.
I can't beat what Leighton said. As soon as he said it, I was like, shit. I'm sorry.
I agree with that. I agree. Those
I'm with Leighton. I mean, that was incredible.
Except
Leighton's in on this too.
You guys may laugh at me, but I rate Pujols 1. If you look at his numbers and Gehrig's numbers, his numbers are actually a little better than Gehrig's. They really are.
Different time period, though.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Pujols has to be there just because it's but there's no modern bias. The guy deserves it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, without naming 3, let's go around the horn. Who's your all-time second baseman, Leighton? Just one guy. All-time second baseman.
So I feel like I don't know second base as well. Like in terms of the modern game, I'm thinking Sandberg. As far as Aparicio was more of a shortstop, right?
Right.
So for second baseman, I don't want to, torment the community and make them wait for me to answer. I feel like I don't know it well enough.
Okay.
Leighton, there's 42 people watching, so you're not tormenting that people. So
Rico, what do you got?
Well, Derek will know this name. He played second base for the Pittsburgh Pirates. One of the great second base. Yeah, Bill Mazeroski, boy, was
really
great. Oh,
you can't
kidding?
be the greatest, though.
Well, for me, who else? Tony Lazzari.
Who do you have?
I want to stay in this.
Derek, can you believe they're missing the guy that I know you're going to say and I'm going to say together?
We are.
I know we are. You're a vintage guy.
No, I
check your phone. He's texting you.
Are you going back to T206s?
No, I'm going to the Rogers Hornsby.
Oh, okay. No, then he is. Dude, I don't know what base he played. No, I just know he's
I didn't even.
Right.
Yeah, Rogers Hornsby. Right.
I didn't know you want to go that far back, but
yeah.
Now, you know who else comes into mind is what about Jackie Robinson, Rico?
Oh, there you go.
He was better than
he was
Bill
up
Mazeroski.
Mazeroski was
first also.
Mazeroski's in the Hall of Fame, by the way, if you don't know.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
But anyway,
who's your start? Rico, who's your shortstop?
Robinson. Shortstop. My shortstop is I'm going to say it, Derek Jeter.
All right.
You know something? There's an argument there. There's an argument.
I'm going to go vintage. I feel
ahead.
very confident about my my shortstop choice. Honus Wagner.
I agree with that. You got to go with Wagner. You got to go with Wagner.
How far back you guys want to go? I mean,
we can go back to Cap Anson. I don't care.
Yeah, it's baseball.
Who the heck remembers? I know.
It's been around for a long time.
I can't remember.
Derek, what do you say?
You know, I have to give, from what I've seen, for the all-around talent, the captain, you know, Jeter is phenomenal. But I will say that I don't know that you can diss Honus Wagner by any stretch. So you might have to do more than one. I don't think there's a definitive, you know, in basketball, it's Michael Jordan. People say LeBron, you know, you can't just say.
And you have to take into consider the time
great
eras that they played in.
But
all right, lastly, we got about 2 minutes left. Third base.
Brooks Robinson and Mike Schmidt.
I agree. Either or.
I was hoping I got third base. I wanted third base because I could do that.
Rico,
who do you got?
I have Mike Schmidt first. I got Brooks second. But you know who I have coming in third? You may disagree with me. Wade Boggs. I think Wade Boggs was a great hitter. Great ball player.
All around. No, he was great. He was a great hitter. But I'm talking.
Are we going to the outfield yet?
No.
No, actually, we're not. We are
that's
out
tough.
of time.
There's so many.
All right, boys, listen.
Catcher.
We can't. We're out
Yogi
of time.
Berra, Campanella, Bench.
I say Yogi.
Bench is the greatest of all time.
Bench, Berra can't be third.
All right, boys, listen. I love
it was
you.
great to
Thank
see
you
you.
so much for coming on board. Leighton,
this was fun.
Derek, we have a good time with you guys. You guys get it. You understand it. To our viewers and listeners, thank you all so much for the support. And remember, happy
Go get 'em,
collecting.
Gang. All right.
Leighton, see you at the Mint.
Yeah, looking forward to it, guys. Take it easy.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.